Phew, what a night. These fucking nightmares are getting worse and worse. Where's my morning drink? Darn, not even coffee available. Boy, what kind of bookstore am I even running here? I guess I should get myself an assistant. This is getting out of hand. The requirements would be, hardworking, obedient and rich as fuck. Because I for sure can't pay them at all. Shouldn't be too hard to find, after all this is Germany. The daily newspaper. I hate the world we live in, it's always bad news. The best sellers of the month. My personal computer. I use it mostly for gaming. Gameception. A painting depicting a snake. There are clearly some Mesoamerican influences visible in the art style. It's an old family heirloom, my grandmother gave it to me. No way, I like it there at that wall. The middle shelf contains books about science. Interesting stuff, but mostly popular scientific literature, that barely scratches the surface. I guess it sells better.
Michael picks up a book from the shelf.
Well, that's something of substance. The Principles of Quantum Mechanics by P.A.M. Dirac. The methods of progress in theoretical physics have undergone a vast change during the present century. The classical tradition has been to consider the world to be an association of observable objects, particles, fluids, fields, etc., moving about according to definite laws of force, so that one could form a mental picture in space and time of the whole scheme. This led to a physics whose aim was to make assumptions about the mechanism and forces connecting these observable objects, to account for their behavior in the simplest possible way. It has become increasingly evident in recent times, however, that nature works on a different plan. Her fundamental laws do not govern the world as it appears in our mental picture in any very direct way, but instead they control a substratum of which we cannot form a mental picture without introducing irrelevancies. This sounds familiar. A box of books I bought from private hand. Rare copies of fine books in there. I need to catalog them and put them in the shelves someday. Maybe tomorrow. A box of books I bought from private hand. Maybe tomorrow. That's a shelf where I keep private things. I better keep it in my pocket, before I lose it again. Oh, there is my gargoyle. I missed you, buddy. Lisa would always hide him from me. She couldn't stand his sight in our apartment. My personal book collection. I love books. After all, they are like close friends but can't hurt you. A photo of Lisa and me. Happy days. Fuck, now I remember why I usually avoid looking in here. Hell no, this stays in the shelf. I don't want to be remembered every day how miserable my life is nowadays. A small poster, it reads, "Books wanted for our men in camp and over there, take your gifts to the public library." I never understood the point of wars, definitely wouldn't be a good soldier. The shelf under the window contains the best grabs, books for half the price that just need to go.
Michael picks up a book from the shelf.
Oh, a Latin dictionary, I always wanted to speak that language. Apex means extreme end, point, summit, top. Apex means B. What a gorgeous language, makes you immediately feel living in ancient times, speaking like this.
Michael picks up a book.
Oh, a Latin dictionary. What a gorgeous language, makes you immediately feel living in ancient times, speaking like this. A pile of sticky notes. A sticky note, it reads, "Paradise is exactly like where you are right now, only much much better." Just a daily reminder how fucked up my life is. Whatever, let's do handicrafts. A tape strip. That doesn't need to be taped. Home, sweet home. A stylized picture of Audrey. When I first saw her in Charade, I thought she was as elegant as anything I'd ever seen. My reliable mobile phone. Better take it with me. No thanks, I'm not thirsty at the moment. Just a stash of books I'm reading at the moment, mostly fictional literature to escape the cruel reality. A family picture. My mother, my father, my sister and me standing in front of our childhood home. Only Lisa is missing. I can't endure looking at her, always gets me in a bad mood. A music box that I gave Lisa for Christmas. She loved that silly thing. Can't get myself to get rid of it. A cabinet with bathroom utilities. Let's see if there is something in there I can use. A razor blade, I better take this with me, dangerous world out there. Let's open up the store. Yet another day in paradise, I guess.
Finally you opened. Do you know what time it is? I waited outside for almost 2 hours.
Madam, this is a bookstore. People don't buy books at 7 in the morning, there is no need to open up early.
It is 12 o'clock at daytime.
Well, touché. What can I do you for? Are you applying for the job as my assistant? I'm afraid I can't afford you.
What? No.
Great, a customer. You can look around but please don't bother me. My head hurts like a motherfucker.
Mr. Yega, could you please listen to me? My name is Katerina Richter. I'm here for my father, Edward Richter.
No way, what do you want from me? Don't you think your family has dealt me enough suffering already?
Mr. Yega, you are wrong. My father was not responsible for the plane crash. He was a university professor. He could not possibly.
He could not possibly do what? Kill 139 people, my wife included?
I'm sorry, Mr. Yega, you surely went through a lot, but my father was innocent. The crash was a big hoax.
It sure didn't felt like a hoax. I was on that flight, there were air marshals chasing your father right before the explosion.
I have proof, Mr. Yega. My father wrote me a letter only weeks before his death. In it he claims he was persecuted by powerful people that tried to silence him. He hid something here in Heidelberg that should give further proof of his innocence. Please, Mr. Yega, you need to tell me what happened on that plane. I must prove his innocence, can't you understand?
Do whatever you need to do, but do it somewhere else. I have no time for this nonsense. Please leave my store, Mrs. Richter, I just don't want to remember. I'm happy with suppression. Well, not happy, but the pain has stopped, so this is perhaps better.
I understand. If you change your mind, please take a look at this copy of the letter. My phone number is written on it. I have a room at Hotel Ritter in the old town of Heidelberg. Call me anytime.
Sure, whatever. What is this woman thinking, raveling up all these old stories?